Let's get loud.
All right, welcome to this edition of the Receipt Tuesday episode on the Loud and Devoted podcast. My name is Native Seahawk, and this one really, really hurts, doesn't it, guys? There's no sugarcoating this. The Seahawks stunk it up. And, I think when we were talking on the 12th hour episode, your boy called it. He said, please, no fumbles, no, and Vegas said it right, no trap game. And Seattle did both. Take a listen to what we said on the 12th hour. So, yeah, if we can get into the beginning of the fourth quarter up by 17 points, 20
That'd
points.
be awesome. Let's do that. Let's just stay ahead and be dominant the whole game. That would be a nice change of pace for us Seahawk fans who have been dying of heart attacks for the first few games. It'd be kind of nice, to have a little game where we're just like, yeah, let's just go in and pummel these guys. Like the last time we played the Giants, where we had like a bazillion turnovers and just like put them into the ground. That'd be nice.
Yeah, believe me, I would love to.
Kind of sweet. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like if we do the Giants what we did to them last time we played them, you never know. They might just get tired of Danny Dimes and throw in Drew Lock. We'll see what happens. Either that or we put up so much points, we're putting our backups in. That'd be nice.
I know, that's the thing. I mean, that's been my number one thing. Even when I was popping champagne this morning, I said to myself, I was like, okay, let's not take for granted this Giants team. Let's not just forget that they're in the NFL, that they're
still
guys,
an NFL team. Anything can happen.
They're still able to play. They're still really good. Let's not take them for granted. Let's not do things to cough the ball up and
no traps, no trap games. Let's not do that.
Well, yeah, and no wide receiver screens. You're very hesitant about that.
Yes, I don't like it.
Which players are you looking to see do well today or improve from last Monday?
I'm kind of hoping. Again, I want our defense to improve. Now, I want to see Big Cat and Shenna back in. I'd also like to see, Woolen and Witherspoon look kind of not very good last time. They looked a little lost out there, so hopefully they'll get back to their regular form.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on your same bandwagon. I'm not so much looking at the offensive line anymore. The offensive line did really well last week against Hutchinson and that defense.
Good stuff. Forsyth, man. Keep the match in check.
But it really comes back to, you're right, that back seven, and especially with Witherspoon and Reek Woolen. They don't do well unless the defensive line's doing well. That they do okay. I'm not going to say they do poorly, Witherspoon and Reek Woolen, but they do not excel. They don't, they're not so much of an impact unless the quarterback is being rattled and is trying to make the play. The only thing we got, of course, Derek Hall. I want to see if he can.
He's really coming on. Yeah.
I really want to see him stack games. He did really well against the Lions. He was my number one defensive impact player last week. And in such a depleted defense, I was really happy to see him step up and step out.
He really did.
That it would be really awesome to be able to see him stack statistics and actually go back-to-back games this week. Let's keep going. The second question is, what are some question marks that you have going into this game after the Lions loss?
Even with all the guys out, it was just like, ooh, they were getting pummeled, especially in the running game. And so I'm hoping to see some improvement in that. I mean, it should be should be some improvement against the Giants, especially since their top back Singletary is out. Marks, also kind of that, actually the O-line did quite good, especially with Forsyth keeping Hutch in check, but poor Gino was still getting pressured back there, so a lot. So I'm hoping maybe the offensive line, especially on maybe the other side, helps him out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to say that for me, for me, it's about the scheme. And I think our inexperience at offense and defensive coordinator really, not defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, where we should have had more of featured the run game last week against the Lions because, like I said, we were depleted on the defense. You You know your defense is depleted. You know that they're probably going to give up a lot of chunk yards. Let's try to keep those possessions for Jared Goff less than what they give. Instead, they did it. They were like, no way, we're going to try to match them. And it turned out to be, we lost by, a lot of points. So do we have the right scheme? Do we understand the way that our team is set up today to making sure that, okay, we don't have a few key guys on the defense, but we have enough to be able to sustain a lot of 3-and-outs today.
But I think if the fumble hadn't happened, I think, and we had to play catch up the whole time, I think they probably would have enacted more what you were thinking of. But when you're trying to catch up, it's kind of hard to take the time, off the thing. So
I hear what you're saying about the DK fumble, and I think if you were down by 2 touchdowns, I think you're absolutely right. You can't run the ball and hoping to God that you're going to catch up.
Right.
However, I just think that my question mark going into this game is, do you understand the makeup of your team, and do you understand the way you can best put them in the best position to win?
Mm-hmm.
And this week is a little bit less of that because we're so much more superior in so many different places, and we're more healthy this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's and so are we able to make sure that those same key guys are available this Thursday and 4 short days from now? Are they able to? And then that's the other big question mark. But what do you think of the score today? What is your prediction for?
You know what? I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say 30-3 Seahawks. Okay.
So I think it's gonna be Seattle 33.
Okay.
Giants 17.
Okay. Yeah.
So what is that? 50 points. So I think it's over under and above the 7-point favorites that we've got. So there you go. That's our Receipt Tuesdays episode. All right, there you go. You see it. We both thought the Seahawks would score at least 33 points. I had the defense giving up 17, and Vega had them giving up 3 points. And it was complete opposite of that. I went back and took a look at the film in the all 22 that we get with the NFL Plus premium. And I was looking for the pre-snap movement. I was trying to look, I really focused on the offense because I knew that the defense was going to be taken care of, and it wasn't by all intents and purposes, even though Seattle did do a really good job of pressuring Daniel Jones. I guess it was one of the top 3 last week, and out of all of the football teams, Seattle's defense did well in pressuring Daniel Jones. But on offense, I was trying to look at to see what they did with pre-snap movement. I was thinking, man, there was got to be. Why didn't we see more pre-snap movement on? And looking at my statistics, the Seahawks did use about a 28% of the time they used pre-snap movement. Is that good enough for you as a fan, knowing that this offensive coordinator Grubb is one of the most more creative offensive coordinators in the NFL, at least coming into this season? Only one in every 4 snaps they were pre-snap movement. And again, pre-snap movement's big because it gives Geno Smith the opportunity to see what kind of defense the Giants were playing. If you looked at the all 22, the defense for the Giants was really pretty much playing zone the whole game. I think maybe a few times I saw man-to-man coverage, and they really took away the middle of the field, which I think they noticed in Grubb's offense that he likes to, and Geno likes to target down the seams or down the middle of the field. And so anytime there were slants that would go towards the middle of the field, or 5-step drops that would usually target JSN or a tight end in the middle of the field, those were gone for the most part, mostly because the linebackers were just keying on that space. It was almost like they had a heat map and was like, all right, this is the areas where Geno likes to throw. Let's go ahead and cover those and give up the exterior, the passes by the sideline, give up the underneath running back plays, which there was one running back pass that if it does get to Charbonnet, he's going to go for about 20 to 25 yards down the right sideline, but it did get blocked by Thibodeau, or I forgot who number 0 is for the Giants. But either way, it was a master class for the Giants, and it's really cueing in, I think, on what the 49ers are going to do and the other teams are going to do against this offense. So how do that's going to be another question for us coming into Thursday's game is how do you respond knowing that? I was also looking at audibles. How many times did Gino audible out of Grubb when Grubb said, "This is what I want you to play"? He was able to, the Seahawks employed that no huddle offense and was able to give Gino the opportunity to kind of take a look at the defensive setup. But again, they were just kind of playing base zone. It wasn't base zone, but their defense was in base, or their common play was zone. So anytime he had that pre-snap movement, it was kind of like, okay, they're not moving. They're staying exactly where they're at. And so he had a chance to audible. And looking at the amount of times he audibled, was about 8%, a little bit under 9% of the time, or 5 times out of the snaps that Gino actually audibled. So Gino looked very, very tentative out there. There was a few times where you had a wide open guy and he threw to him, but it was like a heartbeat later than normal. There was a couple of times where there was some opening down the seam where tight end like Fant was right there, and normally he's able to drop it over the linebacker, in between the linebacker and the safety, and just decide not to throw it there. Got a little gun shy, and it wasn't it was just the times where Gino really found his guy, out in the perimeter, 5 or 6 yards to the left or 5 or 6 yards to the right. I saw that quite a bit in the game film, but really, at the end of the day, the interior offensive line is our biggest bugaboo. And as you heard in my my Receipt Tuesday, or my Sunday 12th hour part of the podcast, I was thinking, okay, the offensive line's got it taken care of. You didn't see much of the Lions defense getting in to see Gino, but the Giants' interior offensive line was atrocious it was amazing against the Seahawks, atrocious for Seattle, especially, Leonard Dexter. Dexter was really, really good against, and he blew up Christian Haynes at least once. And it wasn't until you saw Bradford sort of take over, but even Bradford was getting really worn down by the fourth quarter, and you saw him give up pretty much a sack right into Gino at the very, very end. We can complain about the refs and the fact that we didn't get the call where the guy held down Tomlinson to allow the other guy to get over him to block the field goal. We could complain about that, but you know what, guys and gals? It shouldn't have even gotten that close. It shouldn't even been this close to where you're relying on a referee to make a call to help you. The Seahawks are a better team on every single position, and we went over that in the Sunday morning episode. And, they're far superior, not just a little bit better, but far superior. And you saw all the headlines that came out of the press conference that Mike McDonald feels like the edge game against the run was not being held up by the secondary of the either a linebacker or a safety or a cornerback coming in to help out the edge rusher. But we heard the fact that the defense just wasn't playing. They weren't communicating. They weren't playing together. You heard several players talk about that. And, but again, this is frustrating because we know we're a better team. And, you still got DK Metcalf fumbling, which means that the Seahawks are now 0-2 anytime he fumbles. He lost a fumble against the Lions, did it again on Sunday against the Giants. And, we didn't want this to be a trap game, but that's the one concern I have. And I said that as you saw in the 12th hour episode about the scheme. What kind of scheme are we going to be playing? Do we understand the makeup of our team? But it's about the playbook too. What did the Seahawks try to cram 2 games into 1 week? Is my thought. I know somebody asked, I don't know if it was Corbin Smith or somebody asked Coach Mike Mack, are you getting ready for the 49ers as well as the Giants? He says, no, 150% Giants. But it made me think, like, first of all, 28% of the snaps was pre-snap movement, and it just felt very vanilla on both sides. Like it was almost like on offense and on defense, like they were trying not to give away too much for the Seahawks versus the 49ers on Thursday. Like they're not trying to do that. They're really just trying to kind of play base offense, base defense, and not give up too much. But then I was thinking, man, did the Seahawks defense and offense get the playbooks mixed up? Were they cramming two games into one? We won't know that, and none of them will probably ever say that they did that. But you have to think that with only basically 2 days to get ready for a division rival, one that you can't stand and you must win on Thursday, and everybody's watching, that they did a little bit of game planning for the 49ers. I'm just wondering if some of that got lost in translation on Sunday. So it made it feel like a trap game because you're kind of like, well, we're getting ready for both guys, but we're pretty sure we'll beat the Giants. But the Giants came in, and I want to give kudos to my friend Jackson Bevins, who said it. I'm going to paraphrase, but basically, it looked like the Seahawks were coming off a 8 or 10 hour bender coming into the game, whereas the Giants came in refreshed and ready to kick our asses. And that's exactly what happened on Sunday. We talked about it in the 12th hour episode about Woolen and Witherspoon. Are they coming back to form? And then I said it, like, they can't be back in form, getting interceptions, unless the defensive line is pressuring, which it looked like they did. Like I said, they were top 3 in all of the NFL according to PFF on pressures on Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones just had a kick-ass game. Let's just call it spade to spade. Daniel Jones, and we do this, right? We somehow over the years have made average quarterbacks look like they're really good. And I have no idea where that comes from or why, openly. And I said in the 12th hour episode about the fact that the O-line did well against the Lions, and I expected that this Sunday they did atrociously. Like, they didn't give Geno much space and time to throw. There were times where the line was crumbling around him and he had to step up and throw. There's a few times where if he didn't step up, and if he waited a half a beat later, the ball is going to get fumbled because they're literally swinging at where he was holding the ball down before he went forward to try to throw the ball. That would have been, a fumble. That happened a few times in looking at the film. I was really hoping for Derek Hall to stack games. He had a really good game against the Lions. But then, we got Nwosu out there who kind of took away some snaps for Hall. And, of course, Nwosu now is out. We don't know how long he's going to be out, probably weeks, probably go back on the injury reserve. Maybe it might shut him down for the season. Who knows with him. And if that happens, that would be very unfortunate because we did need him. But he doesn't make or break this defense. I think what does make or break the defense, obviously, is going to be that defensive line. And Leonard Williams was double teamed quite a bit. So who's stepping up? Jaron Reed? Didn't see that very often. There was a few times he got in there and was able to make some tackles for loss. But again, the loss of Byron Murphy is big. And a rookie does not make a team, don't get me wrong, but he does play a big piece in this cog of the defense. Being able to spell Jaron Reed, to be able to come in there and go alongside of Leonard Williams, and of course Boye Mafe. That is another big missing piece. When you have basically your Joey Bosa out for any length of period of time, that's going to take an effect on the defense because Mafe is a pain in the ass for any tackle that's out there, for any quarterback that's out there, even the run game. He's back there and causing havoc. So once we get Mafe back, I really start to see this defense started to take shape again. But cleaning up the messes that McDonald said he already saw. Where again, that's the beauty of having somebody like Coach Mike Mack, is his ability to basically take a look at an ailing defense and be able to fix it, be able to call it out, to be able to say, this is not right, and this is what you have to do to make it right. So Yeah, we were Vega and I were very much in the wrong. Our Receipt Tuesday episode. I hate to say it, but it has to be said. I should have said that. I was worried. I did say that before the game, that, and so did Vega, that we hope that this wasn't a trap game, but it was. And really, openly, if we get pummeled by the Niners on Thursday, then we know what kind of team we have openly, what kind of team we really have. And the first three wins was sort of a fluke. Like some people are saying, calling the Seahawks fake, which I disagree with that. I don't think we're fake with 3-2 and being number one in our division. However, um, it is something that you do have to understand when they play against established quarterbacks. They have yet to beat one yet. They went up against Jared Goff, who's established. You have Danny Dimes, who's established. Now you got Brock Purdy. They have to beat established quarterbacks to win in this league. You can't have Skylar Thompson every week. You can't have a Bo Nix, a rookie, playing you every week and hope that you're going to get far in the playoffs. You're just not. You have to rise. And they should have risen against this Giants squad. 7-point favorites, home favorite. You're in front of the Lumen crowd. This is not going to get any better for you. Now you got Thursday. Now again, I didn't have to look at the spread, but I don't think Seattle's. I think they're home underdogs, which they should be. Although the 49ers are ailing, they've got several players out, and their statistics don't look very good either in terms of quarterback pressures allowed on their offensive line, and their defensive line isn't doing much either. So you got two kind of, above average teams that are just not playing right anymore lately. And so, you have to see which one wants it more. Do the Seahawks want it better and more badly than the 49ers? And this is a get right game. And I know that I got a little heated on Sunday because I got into a Twitter match with another Seahawks fan, which I hate doing that, you guys. Why do we have to do that as Seahawks fans? We're family, for fuck's sakes. Let's just get along. It's okay to disagree. I called it a get right game. The guy was mad at me because, about half of our defense was out. We still lost. It was a chance for us to get right, get back on track of winning and starting a whole new winning streak. Now we're in a losing streak. We've lost 2 in a row. So we've got to get right this week. We got to and get this win. And so let's just take it easy on each other, especially, God dang, the guy blocked me and everything. But whatever, do what you got to do, man. It is what it is. That's it for Receipt Tuesday. We'll see you back again next week on Sunday. Again, we don't play on Sunday, but we'll do the 12th hour episode again before the Seahawks take on the Falcons the following Sunday. And my name is Native Seahawk. Take good care of yourselves. Be safe. Go Hawks. I'll be at the game. I'm flying my fat ass up to Lumen Field for the game. Hopefully I won't have a voice when I leave that stadium and we come out with the W against the dreaded 49ers. Take care, guys. Go Hawks.